Is there anybody else on there? No?
No.
Okay. All right, this is the November 20th meeting of the Development Review Board. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:35. All right, at the DRB, we hear applications for the land development in the town of Brattleboro and appeals of zoning administrator decisions. Procedurally, the Development Review Board operates on the record. Broadly, this means that we take a clear record of testimony from the applicant and any interested parties, and then we issue a written decision with our findings. Applicants and members of the public should be aware that as we are on the record, this is your opportunity to comment on and provide evidence relating to an application. Application materials and written testimony is posted to the town website as received. Hearings may be continued at the board's discretion if materially important documents are received after the submission deadline. In the event our decision is appealed to the environmental court, the court will not take or consider any additional testimony at its hearing, but will look at the evidence from our hearings, the regulations, and determine if the evidence supports the findings and decisions of the board. Only interested persons that participate in this proceeding may appeal a decision made by the board, so I strongly encourage all of you to speak up at this hearing. As we're on the record and we're going to ask you to affirm that your testimony will be truthful. So the applicants and anyone wishing to speak to an application, please affirm the following. I hereby affirm that the evidence I give in the cause under consideration but shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalty of perjury. Say I do.
I do.
Okay, thank you. Applicants require a majority vote of the full board to succeed. That is 4 votes out of 7. We do have a full board today, and plus an alternate. Well, then we're good to go. After taking testimony, the board will close the public hearing and may vote on your application. The board will issue a written decision within 45 days of the close of the hearing. While we may vote on the application, it is the written decision that controls the timeline for appeal. It should be noted that the town of Brattleboro is a party with an interest in land development applications. The town does not have a special status before this board. Documents provided to the board by the town planning department, town attorney, and any other town departments will be considered in the exact same way as information from the applicant and all other interested parties. So I'm going to start off with, just so you know how this will work, we'll hear the cases and we'll be asking questions of the applicant. The board will have the first chance to ask those questions, and then anybody in the public can ask after that time. So first order of business is to approve the minutes of October 16th, 2024.
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, all in favor? Just say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Great. So Brian, has the meeting been properly warned?
Yes, it has.
Okay. Does anyone need to disclose conflicts of interest or ex parte communication? Nope. Great. All right, so the first case is 2024-84, BEEC and Earthbridge Community Land Trust. They have requested to dismiss without prejudice this particular application at this time. Can I have a motion for that?
I think that seems quite appropriate.
Okay, second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Just say
Aye.
all right, good. Motion is passed. Okay, now we have application 2024-121, North Chair Brewing LLC. Who's going to speak for them? Okay, just come on over here and have a seat. So I understand we are only considering condition 16 of the decision from 2018. And is that right, Brian?
Yep, and that condition said that if you wanted to do outside consumption, you would have to come back to the board to get that permission. So that's what we're doing tonight.
Okay, so we don't really need to hear anything else except for that. And if you want to tell us about that part of it, and then we can get going.
So we're just bringing our tasting room back to life. We acquired the Whetstone Brewery on Frost Street back in February. We've rebuilt the tasting room, and we'd like to have people enjoy some of our beers outside. We have a nice little grass area in front. We're going to move some things around and give people some more space.
Okay. Gord, do you have questions for, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Questions for Jonathan?
A question I have is, just to be clear, does the house that's on the same parcel and southwest of this business or this planned project, is that owned by
It is,
the owner
yes.
as well? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's parcel 41. It's 41 Frost Street. We have 39, which is where the brewery is, and then 41 next door.
On the same parcel?
I think it's two separate parcels, but they're treated as one. I think that's right.
They used to be separate and they were merged at some point.
Okay, yeah.
Is that currently rented or owned? Is it used residentially? Will
No,
it be?
no, it's far beyond use.
Far beyond
So
use.
to rebuild that house would involve raising it up significantly 'cause it's in the floodplain. There are no mechanical systems in it. There's no electricity in it.
Oh, okay.
Most of the floors have rotted out. It's in pretty rough shape.
Okay.
Okay.
Cute little house.
It is a cute little house.
Was cute.
Was cute. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I have some questions. Can you kind of describe the hours that you see this happening outside and
Right now, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, we're open from noon until 3.
Okay.
And then Thursday through Sunday, we open up at noon and we close at 6. I think during the summer, depending on volumes, we might go a little bit later than that, possibly like 8 o'clock.
Okay.
But I don't anticipate going much later than that.
Okay, so only in like the hours that you're open right now and maybe longer in the summer till 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I would think
Or
8
so.
o'clock, unless we have a special event of some kind.
Okay. Anybody else? Tim?
Oh,
Looked
I'm
like you
just
have a question.
curious how this board's, how do we tie in to the liquor commissioner's entertainment?
Not at all.
Not at all.
That's a separate,
It's just because it was a rider on the 2018.
right. And I
decision.
think we're probably more interested, I'm more interested in the noise
Music.
than in, you know,
Sure.
The use?
the whole alcohol thing is a separate,
Right, but it's also an entertainment license, so
Yeah.
the select board also would be interested in noise issues. Just curious how.
And
They voted on it
They did.
2 weeks ago and approved it.
Great.
so outside consumption is contingent on your approval of outside consumption.
I wasn't aware that they had approved it. Thank you.
Reading in the application, I believe I saw something about entertainment music that you might offer at sometimes.
Yes, sir.
And would that be amplified? And
It's likely small speakers outside, so when people are sitting outside and having a beer, something to help you not hear the sound of the forklifts backing up all day and the constant hum of the dryers. Not significant amplification, and then maybe from time to time, small live music, a guy playing a guitar, a couple of people in a small band, but not overly loud. It's not a large area, so we couldn't do much.
And have you been in contact with any of your neighbors about this?
Yes, so far all the neighbors who've stopped by are really excited. Just not only to see somebody there and doing something and having a tasting room open, but a place to go. We see a lot of local foot traffic from people who live both on our street and then the surrounding streets, just coming in to say hi and enjoying a beer and welcoming us to the neighborhood.
I used to live at 87, so I used to be one of those foot traffic.
Any other questions?
It's not a question, but I'll just draw attention to, in our land use regs, there's a section 322, about noise, and it sets certain ways of measuring and duration, but it sets a certain amount of decibels that are a threshold that neighboring properties are, how do I say, I'm kind of saying it backwards, but a threshold that you shouldn't pass, and it differs depending on the neighboring property. So just keep that in mind as you move forward.
We are very familiar with those,
Yeah,
all of those aspects from what's going on at Maple Valley.
Right, right about that. If the chair will entertain this for a moment, I think this would be educational. For more context, it is a little bit broader than just 16, but I think the answer can be quick. In the 2018-26 decision, there was all sorts of conditions, more than 16, and do they all still apply now to this? Because this is the same project, right? They all still apply, and they're kind of, we should remind the applicant if none of them, if they haven't been fully completed up to this point.
Yeah, so some of them have been completed. A couple were not because the application wasn't really followed through on because COVID came in and they
Right.
really didn't open it at that time as a tasting room, or not for long. So I'm proposing to Nora that we just drop the conditions from that decision into this new decision.
Oh.
And then we can just review them together.
I think almost every single one of them has been done, at least to a degree.
Yeah. That was my feeling as well.
Yeah, we don't have a bike rack. But we have almost everything else. In the Knox box, we are currently working on.
Sounds great.
And what precisely does your product taste like?
It's really good.
Have you brought samples?
No, but if you want to come back with me afterwards, I don't want to be seen as trying to sway the board. We actually just did a dark Czech lager today that is off the charts. Bringing back beer that tastes like beer.
Okay.
So less of the fruity beers, less of the really unique stuff, and going back to very traditional styles that are tried and true.
Good.
Okay, public? Do you have just come on, state your name and ask.
Dan Richardson, Brattleboro. I live on Elliott Street, almost directly above this property, a little bit to the west. Out the window of the music studio where I spend most of the day and the evening working, I can see this parking lot. My understanding of the 2018 permit was that it would be restricted hours, zero impact on the neighborhood, and it sounds like you're maintaining that. I just want to register a concern, which I think is being met, that I would not like to see this evolve into a bar.
It will not.
That's really all I
We're going to stay as a tasting room only for our beers.
Yeah.
And a small tasting room. I mean, the maximum capacity of the interior space is 15 people in our tasting room.
Yeah.
So it's not a big place. And luckily, the outside space should be shielded not only by the building, but by the fencing and everything else that we have from your
None of
view.
it's shielded from me. I'm looking right into your parking lot.
Oh, we're not going to be, but you shouldn't see any of the outside consumption stuff from your vantage point. So it's not going to be in the parking lot. It's going to be on the inside of the existing fence going towards the driveway. So which parking lot? The gravel one or the
The one on the
paved one?
west side of the building.
Gravel.
Right. So that'll only have occasionally cars in it like it does now.
Okay.
But all the outside consumption is going to be limited to a controlled consumption space.
Yeah.
So we have whiskey barrels kind of placed around where that space will be. So hopefully, and if we do bother you, come down and say something, please.
We'll do. We'll be fine.
That's what the whiskey, I was by there today. What are these whiskey bars? I thought it was like to not let people park on the lawn.
That has been a problem, and we've aged beer in them that didn't work out so well. So once we eliminated the beer. We thought they would look good out there, and they'll create the fence posts that will then line the tasting area.
All right.
Sounds a little similar to Saxton's River. Have you seen their setup over by, on Putney Road?
I haven't, but that's where the barrels came from originally, so.
Well, check them. I think they continue to do so in warmer weather, but they have a nice, pleasant setup, so you could always
Oh, great.
get inspiration from what they're doing.
So, any conditions?
Just all the past ones.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
looking through the existing conditions, they seem pretty,
Okay, keep the existing conditions then.
Or I would suggest striking the one for the EV charger, because there aren't 40 spaces there, and I'm not sure why it was in there to begin with.
Okay. All right, someone want to put that together as a motion? You, Michael?
My vice chair.
I move that we approve the request for outside consumption or that we modify the existing
Conditions.
conditions to approve outside consumption and to, with the exception of the outdoor charging,
EV
car
charger,
charging
right.
station, which will not be necessary.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, let's go through this one. Catherine?
Yes.
Okay. Tim?
Hi.
Allison?
Yes.
I say yes. Michael?
Yes?
Yes.
Tom? And Jordan?
Yes.
Okay. It passes 7-0. Motion passed. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So it's easier for me the last year of the
Do we have any other business
we hope for.
from the board? Catherine?
No, nice to see you guys again.
All is good. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I would move to adjourn.
Second.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye. Have a great holiday, everyone.
Thanks, Catherine.